my real life story, a story of loss, hope, and new beginnings. Hello everyone, my name is Daniel, and today I want to share the most painful, shocking, and life-changing chapter of my life. This is the story of the day when everything I had, my home, my dreams, my plans, my future, was destroyed in a single moment. It is a story about fear, loss, hope, and a new beginning. I am not sharing this for sympathy. I am sharing this because maybe someone out there is going through something difficult too, and I want them to know that they are not alone. So let me tell you what happened. Before everything changed, my life was simple and quiet. I lived in a small town surrounded by tall trees, green fields, and warm, smiling people. Every morning, I woke up to the sound of birds outside my window. I would make myself a cup of tea, step outside, and breathe the fresh morning air. I worked as a part-time carpenter. I loved my job because I could create things with my own hands: tables, chairs, shelves, small decorations. People trusted me, and I felt proud that my work added beauty to their homes. I lived alone, but I never felt lonely. My neighbors were like family. Kids would run around, laughing, playing, and I often fixed their broken toys for free. Life felt safe, life felt stable, life felt good, but sometimes life changes without warning. And that is exactly what happened to me. It was a quiet evening when everything started. I was working on a wooden cabinet when I noticed something strange. The sky was dark, almost black, even though it was only late afternoon. The air felt heavy, and the wind was stronger than usual. I stepped outside and saw my neighbor, Mrs. Hill, looking worried. "Daniel, something feels wrong," she said softly. I looked around. Leaves were flying. Clouds were moving fast, like they were angry. There was a silence, an unnatural silence. And deep inside me, I felt fear, a fear I had never known before. I didn't know that this was the beginning of the worst night of my life. Around PM, the rain started. At first, it looked normal, but within minutes, the rain became louder, heavier, and faster, like the sky was falling apart. The wind roared like a monster. Trees were bending, almost breaking. Windows were shaking. Thunder echoed again and again. The electricity went off. I grabbed a flashlight and tried to stay calm, but my hands were shaking. Then suddenly, boom! A huge branch from a nearby tree crashed into the street. People began shouting outside. The water level started rising, slowly at first, then faster and faster. "Oh no," I whispered. "This is not normal rain. This is a flood." Within an hour, the water entered the streets. Cars were floating. Garbage cans were rolling. The whole town looked like a scene from a disaster movie. I opened my door and saw water entering my house. My heart dropped. I rushed to lift important things: photos, documents, tools, but the water was rising too fast. The floor was covered, then my shoes were underwater, then my knees, then my waist. My house, my safe place, was drowning. I heard people screaming outside. A neighbor shouted, "Everyone move to the school building. It's on high ground." I grabbed my phone, my jacket, and whatever I could carry. The water was freezing cold. I pushed through it, step by step, terrified that I might fall. The wind was still roaring. Rain felt like needles on my skin. The darkness made everything worse. Every second, I wondered if I would make it out alive. The next morning, when the rain finally stopped, we all stepped outside the school building. What I saw broke my heart into 1,000 pieces. My entire town was gone. Houses were destroyed. Cars were upside down. Trees lay everywhere. Furniture floated in muddy water. When I walked back to my home, I froze. My house was no longer a house. The walls had collapsed. My workshop was ruined. My tools were gone. Everything I had built with years of hard work was destroyed in one night. I stood there in silence. I did not cry. I did not shout. I just felt empty, like someone had removed my soul. I remember whispering, "What am I going to do now?" That was the lowest moment of my life. For weeks, life was extremely hard. I slept in temporary shelters. I ate whatever was provided. I wore clothes given by others. I had no job, no home, no savings left. People who once had beautiful homes were now standing in long lines for food. Children cried out of fear and confusion. Everyone had lost something. Some lost their homes, some lost their businesses, and some lost their loved ones. The sadness in the air was heavy. But even in that darkness, something beautiful happened. People helped each other. Strangers shared food. Volunteers brought blankets. Teams came to clean the streets. Neighbors comforted each other. That is when I realized, even when everything is destroyed, humanity can still shine. One day, a volunteer group visited our area. A woman named Emma approached me and asked, "Do you know carpentry? We need help building temporary shelters." I nodded. For the first time since the disaster, I felt a spark of hope. They gave me tools, wood, and a team. I worked from sunrise to evening, building shelters, fixing broken structures, helping families create safe spaces again. People started thanking me, kids hugged me, old men blessed me. Day by day, I felt alive again. Working for others healed me, helping people gave me purpose. And slowly, I began rebuilding my life too. Months passed. The town recovered slowly. New houses were built, roads were repaired, shops reopened, life returned. I saved some money and opened a small workshop again. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. And every time I entered it, I felt grateful that I survived. Grateful for the people who helped me. Grateful for the chance to start again. The disaster changed my life forever, but it also taught me something beautiful. Homes can break, dreams can fall, but the human spirit can rise again. Today, I am stronger, wiser, and kinder than before, and I hope my story reminds you that even after the darkest night, the sun always rises again. Before I end this video, I want to share a short but very important message with you. Please listen till the end, because these words come from the heart, and I believe they can help someone who is struggling today. Life is full of surprises. Sometimes the surprises are beautiful, and sometimes they break us in ways we never expected. But no matter what happens, I want you to remember one thing. Nothing in this world is permanent, not the pain, not the sadness, not the dark days. Everything changes. You may wake up one morning and feel that everything you built has fallen apart. You may feel lost, scared, or alone. You may feel like the world has turned its back on you. But please, do not lose hope. Life has a strange way of rebuilding us. Sometimes it destroys everything so we can start again in a stronger, wiser, and more beautiful way. If you are going through a hard time right now, maybe financially, emotionally, or mentally, I want you to breathe and remind yourself. This moment will not last forever. Storms do not stay. Night does not stay. Pain does not stay. You will rise again. You will rebuild again. You will smile again. Maybe slowly, maybe step by step, but you will. And remember something very important. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be strong all the time. You just need to keep going. Even if your steps are small, even if your progress is slow, it is still progress. Ask for help when you need it. Accept support. Believe in kindness. Believe in yourself. Because as long as your heart is beating, your story is not over. You still have chapters to write. You still have dreams to chase. You still have reasons to live, grow, and shine. So be gentle with yourself. Forgive yourself, and keep moving forward. Your future is bigger than your fear. Your strength is greater than your struggle, and your comeback will be stronger than your fall. Thank you for listening. Stay hopeful, stay brave, and remember, even after the darkest night, the sun will rise again.